In 2021, Ropz has statistically been the best T-side Nuke player against top 20 teams. His 1.30 HLTV rating and 1.27 opening kill rating on T-side puts him firmly in the top right corner of this graph of players on T-side Nuke. Some of these games were against weaker teams in the top 20, but it's clear that Ropz is still an elite player on the T-side of Nuke. And if you take a look at this heat map, you can see he's generally having a lot of impact in his last 5 games all across the map, but especially in towards lobby/A site and at ramp. And when you specifically just look at opening kills, you'll see a lot of his early round impact is coming from these ramp plays and from these lobby plays especially. Now, instead of looking at his last 5 games put together, let's just look at the kills he got on T side against Liquid. And that is a significant drop-off, with Ropz being largely ineffective against Liquid, getting way fewer kills towards ramp and lobby, and only finishing the half with 7 kills and 9 deaths total on this T side of Nuke. So now that we've established that Ropz isn't a big noob and is putting up great numbers on this map, let's take a look at how Liquid counter-stratted him in this game. When taking a look at some of Ropz's most successful games on Nuke, these ramp lurks really stood out, and this strat specifically. Mousesports loved to go for these yard smokes, either with the standard smokes or the ones that are slightly closer to garage, to get down secret early, or to get yard control early and force a response from the CTs that then Ropz, who's the man alone lurking at ramp, could try and exploit when the CTs started to switch up their positions. You can see here in this round, Nexa switches up his position slightly, and it gives Ropz the ability to force this 1v1 fight against him, whereas if there wasn't any yard noise, he may not have moved into a slightly more open position. And early in the half, Mousesports actually ran this play effectively against Team Liquid. They didn't even use all the yard smokes, but rather just focused on fast pace into secret to force a response. And that response comes from the ramp player Naf, who has to respond because there could be a push coming into the B site. So as he rotates away, Ropz is even able to hear this rotate fully down to the B site. And that means he is confident he can get into a powerful position in at ramp and help control the map. Get into an advanced position and catch a liege completely off guard. And I know even you guys at home could get this kill, which means Ropz has positioned himself very well. And this is one of his biggest strengths on this map. The problem is, Liquid were clearly ready for this and clearly had a game plan in mind that they went to later in the half. Here in round 11, we see a similar play being run. This time, Mousesports are slightly slowed down on their cross to secret, but eventually all 4 players get down secret safely. And yet again, this is going to draw that rotation away from Naf. But this time, Fallen's AWP, who was playing yard initially and was making sure they were slightly slower to cross down, goes ahead and rotates over to ramp and holds the angle. This means that, similar to the previous round, Ropz hears Naf rotating away and assumes he has a timing window to sneak in and take fights at ramp, but instead, he just walks dry into the AWP of Fallen, who's in the perfect position to land an easy shot and completely counter one of Ropz's most effective plays on this map. And one small detail to hone in on is the fact that Naf actually goes up to this close left position initially to play this double up with Fallen, and then starts running away from this position that's very close to ramp. Almost like he's trying to be heard by Ropz to bait him into this fight, which absolutely worked out. And while I can't be sure, I wouldn't be surprised if this was something that Liquid purposely planned here, because I know their coach AdreN likes to do his homework. Something else Liquid did to deny some of these Ropz lurk plays is fight slightly more aggressively towards yard, because Ropz's lurks are much more effective when Mousesports have players down on that lower side of the map and the CTs have to make rotations. In this round, Fallen makes sure he's peering over the top of these smokes so that he can get this freebie onto Frozen early. And because he hasn't spotted anyone else towards Yard, he's confident that he can now rotate over to ramp, go for this similar double-up play we saw earlier, this time in round 8, so you can see this was clearly a plan that Liquid had in mind. And then the other great thing about this is that because Fallen can post up on the angle, it gives Naf that extra bit of confidence that he can go ahead and start to push this position. And with ramp now completely accounted for and very little spotted towards Yard early, they're able to have almost every CT player in position to completely counter this push into the A site with a lovely read and a lot of information. Squeaky is one of the few positions you can really have a chance of taking fair aim fights as a T on Nuke, and so Ropz sometimes likes to use this position to try and flex that individual ability he has. Here against G2, he uses a nade and a smoke to quickly get down vents before the molly lands, and G2 lose track of him. He's able to get an easy kill on an unsuspecting rotator and stick around in these vents for the entire round, grouping up with his teammates and having huge impact on this round win. Liquid made sure to counter this though. Not only do they have a faster molly landing on door, which stops Ropz from being able to push, but it also holds him back in a position where his feet are actually visible to Stewie here, who spams him down early. There is the slight difference here of Ropz not having that smoke to lurk out with in this round, but smoke or not, Stewie is a criminal who's definitely gonna get you. Yeehaw! I don't know why Stewie's a cowboy now. Apparently he is, but either way, you get my point. And I ain't gonna lie, I think Stewie would look pretty good in a cowboy hat. Maybe you should try it out sometime, Stu. It's mainly the molly here that stops Ropz from being able to take any early fights and makes it easy for Stewie to get 2 early kills and stop Ropz from another one of the plays he likes to make. Another important part of any lobby player's game on Nuke is being able to counter aggression from the CTs, and normally, Ropz is again pretty good at this. In this round, one of his teammates falls foul to the door push, but Ropz is here to take care of business and get a couple of kills onto these different angles. And there was also a later round against EG where his teammates start falling towards lobby, but he's able to get back down from the roof, take a couple of kills, and make sure that the round is saved. Here against Liquid though, they make sure to throw their lobby aggression in on a round where the rest of the Mouse Sports players are making a fair bit of noise at Yard, so they know it's less likely there are multiple Ts waiting. And that leaves Ropz in a somewhat precarious position. And while he lines himself up nicely, this is a whiff that Ropz would probably not normally miss. Unfortunately though, maybe not having a great game here and he loses this fight. And I just want to show how important this is in the context of this round. Normally, you would be able to rely on Ropz to just hold this lobby position, make sure you could split into the A site from heaven and have a much easier time of things. But because Liquid are able to clear out this lobby side, Stewie plays a position you would never normally play on a hold, in front of the silo. Normally, this position is just too vulnerable to hut and door, but he only has to focus on main from this spot. And once he gets this first kill, he's confident that he knows it's going to be a split into this A site from heaven. He can turn his attention that way and take another great multi-kill. Stu was killing it in this game. The final thing that Liquid did to lower Ropz's overall T-side impact in this game is give him way fewer fights towards ramp. Generally, some of the other teams were either going aggressive on ramp early and Ropz was able to deal with them, like here against Karrigan, or Ropz was just so confident he could win the fights or find a timing window, he'd just go for multiple aggressive plays on ramp, either winning straight up aim duels against people or just finding timing windows where he knew he had a favorable fight. But against Naf at ramp, he was never really presented with too many of those same opportunities. And if anything, it was actually Naf who occasionally was able to pick his spot for some well-timed aggression towards ramp. Here in the last round of the half, he pushes and takes some early fights, which a lot of other teams weren't successful with, but they pick a good timing for it as Ropz isn't here holding lobby, and now he's left in a 2 versus 4 with much less of a chance to have any impact on the way the round's gonna go. Once you're down in a 2v4, oftentimes the round is kind of already decided unless you make a crazy play. Thank you guys for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, why not think about subscribing? I'm trying to see if I can hit 100k subs by the end of the year. It's not looking too likely though, so I'd take 50k at this point. But either way, I'm gonna need your help, so subscribe if you enjoyed. Make sure to stick around for more videos coming up. My name has been Hawka. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next time.